What is up, everybody? It is finally over. The San Francisco 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk have come to their senses. They've figured things out, and they've got a deal done. They've got a deal done, and that's exactly what we were hoping for. Marco texted me. I was at my son's baseball practice, and he's like, hey, it's a done deal. I said, are you sure? He goes, I'll tweet it out right now so you know I'm not messing around. So he does. And I said, when are they going to announce this thing? He goes, they'll announce it probably first thing tomorrow morning. I go, okay, because I'm at this baseball thing with my son. I want to make sure that the news doesn't break while I'm here. He's like, I think you're good as far as that goes. Marco, listen, I know you're plugged in, but bud, you did me wrong here, man. You did me wrong. No, I'm just joking. I wouldn't have left my son's baseball practice anyways. Like, there's nothing I could do. It's tryouts. He did great, though. You know what? I will say this. The biggest news of the night is actually my son was raking in the batting cage for his tryouts. Let's give him a round of applause. But yes, the Brandon Aiyuk news breaks. Marco, you left me hanging on that one, bud. No, but it's here. It's here. And I want to hear from y'all. So link is pinned to the top of the chat. This is your time to get everything out. We've got about an hour. Then we're going to do 4-man front over on Ryan's channel. It's going to be myself, Grant, Coach, and Ryan. So let's make sure that we keep our calls concise, right? Like I said, link is pinned to the top of the chat. We'll get to your thoughts. I know it's been a long off season. You've had to listen to every thought that we've had, and we'll give it even more over on 4-man front on Ryan's channel. But until then, I want to hear you guys sound off. So it's your time. Take your time. We got about 50 minutes or so. I'm going to hit this intro, and we'll be right back. Yeah, I saw that he just tried to call me, but he's live too. He's live too. And the conversation I wanted to have with Grant was a little more private. So I'm glad I didn't answer that knowing he was live on air. So not a big deal. Thanks for letting me know that Grant was calling. But this is how important y'all are. All right. Grant was calling. I sent him to voicemail because I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your calls. So pinned to the top of the chat is the link. Call in. Let's go, man. I'm waiting on y'all to call in. I got how all off season do you guys have opinions? And now I'm giving you the time to sound off. And you're like, nah, you know what? We're good over here. BA just signed, man. BA is a 49er for the next 4 years. You got to be geeked about this. And I also want to say this real quick. Schefter came out and reported that BA was offered the same deal weeks ago or whatever, and he sat on that and didn't accept that deal, and he got nothing better. That's nothing but 49er fodder. I will promise you right now that is not the case. In fact, I know that's not the case. That is factually incorrect. Factually incorrect. So do not believe that BA was just sitting on this deal, not accepting it, waiting until the bitter. No, that is not the case. That is a team spin so that they can feel like they won the deal. But that is not the case. That's not the case. So that I can guarantee you. All right. I'm going to bring in Jeremy. I'm going to see what he's up to. What's up, Jeremy?
What up, dog? How are you?
Dude, how can I not be anything but good at this point?
Yep. And you know what? Now I take it back. Let me park this damn car. I take it back. Everything I said about BA. You know what? Welcome home, BA. Let's get to work. But now I do have a concern.
What's that?
So what do we do with Brock's money next year? What do we do?
Well, I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't do what you just did with BA and wait till the bitter end. That's what you don't do. You make sure you get the deal done early. The only time they've had a chance to pay a quarterback, it was Jimmy Garoppolo. Obviously the wrong decision. And I don't know that I agree with them paying Brock. That's for a later date. But what I will say is, if you're going to pay Brock, just get it done early, man. Get it done early, be done. Allow him to enjoy his offseason and come back ready to help this team win. That's really what matters. So if the decision is made to pay Brock, and it sounds like it is, unless something crazy happens, none of this stuff should happen. In fact, before the draft, he should be signed and happy. And even better, honestly, if he has a good regular season, maybe people don't know this. Brock is eligible to sign at the end of the regular season. He can sign going into the playoffs. Yep. So listen, I'm not big fan of paying quarterbacks big time money unless I think they're elite, right? There's only a few of those guys.
Jimmy G.
Right, exactly. But my point is that if you do believe he's your guy, get it done at the end of the regular season. Send him into the playoffs happy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to wait.
Yeah,
you got the money.
Exactly.
They got the money.
Now we're just waiting on Trent.
Yeah, that's the next big domino to fall, right? I mean, really, we should be worrying about this year. And obviously, Brock's thing will come up. We'll talk about it a million times over. But yeah, Trent's the next thing. And now the 49ers can shift all their focus to Trent, go full court press and get that thing done and get into this season and just turn it all around, man. Turn it all around.
Let's go. Like, why are we waiting?
I'm with you.
You know, I'll tell you why we're waiting. Trent's getting old. And that's a good reason to keep him out of training. Keep him fresh. But now, could that mean that he's susceptible to injury now? He's prone to injury now?
Well, I'll say this. You got to ease him in. First couple of practices, you got to ease him in. You got to make sure, because this is where you worry about the soft tissue things. You can't just let him get out to practice and go full bore. So, and I think the 49ers will do that, by the way. The way that the 49ers tend to do it is the first day or two, you're kind of off to the side, practicing a little bit. Maybe you'll do some of the team drill stuff, but once it gets into 11 on 11s, you're sitting out. I would imagine they'll do that with BA and just make sure that he's fully go, that he can pass whatever conditioning test they have for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah. And he's been working. Here's one thing that people don't realize. He's been, even the days that he hasn't been at practice, it's been reported not at practice, he's there in the weight room working out. He's putting in the work. He stayed at the team facility almost all off season. It's not like he's been on his butt. So he's been working. Brandon Aiyuk's in as good a shape as he can be without playing actual football.
Damn. All right. So then we don't have much to worry about other than him getting actual live reps.
Yeah, he's got to get in football shape. But, like I said, soft tissue injuries certainly can happen. So they got to ease him in a little bit for sure. But they got
I can't wait. Dude.
They've got a full week plus now.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited, dude. Let's get it.
Me too. All right, brother. I'm going to get to the next one.
All right, brother. Let's go.
Later, bro. All right, we're going to get to Eric. Then we're going to get to Dre. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, Jesse? How are you?
Dude, so good right now. So good.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. They really needed this. They didn't need this cloud hanging over them going into the season. It would have been better to obviously get this resolved sooner, but I think this is ideal. It was once they passed the draft, it was too late to do anything other than bring him back. You can't, maybe before the draft, I could see maybe you can make an argument. Maybe you trade him for draft picks. Maybe you draft an offensive lineman, something like that. Maybe at that point, it might have been a viable option. But once you're past the draft, you can't. At that point, the only real options that would have benefited this season are either extend him or force him to play out the 5th-year contract.
Yep.
So I'm excited, man. I'm glad. I'm not. Next season is next season. We can worry about the future of the team, at a later date. But as far as this year, this is what they needed to do. Because Aiyuk, he fits this offense perfectly. I've seen people trying to dog Aiyuk. Listen, if you're upset with the way that he handled the contract negotiations, that's one thing. Don't let that cloud your judgment as to what kind of player he is. Because he is worth this, and he is worth this specifically to the 49ers. He brings exactly what the 49ers need out of their wide receiver. Kyle Shanahan's offense, this is not let's bomb the ball down the field kind of offense. It doesn't prioritize, speed receivers like Tyreek Hill. What you need in Kyle Shanahan's offense, you need to get open, and when you're open, you need to catch the ball. Aiyuk does those things consistently, and we can't. He brings a skill set that cannot be replicated. Now, I don't want to disrespect Deebo Samuel. I like Deebo Samuel, but it's a different kind of skill set. He's more like get him the ball in space, let him run over some defensive backs, let him make something happen, get him the ball in space. That's Deebo. He's not going to run the route tree like Aiyuk. He's not a crisp route runner. Aiyuk does everything that you need him to do, and he blocks. He opens up lanes for Christian McCaffrey in the running game. If you look at any big Christian McCaffrey run, any run Christian McCaffrey over 20 yards, I would bet anything that there's more than 50% chance you're going to see Brandon Aiyuk downfield bodying a defensive back, basically bring him into the stands. That's what he does. I remember when he was coming out for the draft, they talked about his wingspan. I forget exactly what the statistics were, but Aiyuk had like this ridiculous wingspan. They were talking about in terms of his catch radius, but that also helps him as a blocker because by having longer arms, he's able to get his hands on the defensive backs before they get his hands on him. This is the same reason why arm length is what separates guards and centers from offensive tackles. You need to be able to get your hands on the other player before they get their hands on you. And that's what makes Aiyuk, it's just another thing that fits this offense perfectly. Wide receivers blocking for the running backs is a requisite in this offense, and Aiyuk is one of the best blocking receivers in the league. Not to mention the crisp route running, the excellent wingspan. That gives Brock Purdy a wide catch radius that allows him, it makes it easier on the quarterback. It's perfect. So I'm super excited. I'm super grateful that they were able to get this done. I'm not mad at Aiyuk for wanting to get what he was paid because we heard he was offered $32 million from the Patriots. We heard that the Steelers were willing up to $30 million. So the market in the NFL has said Brandon Aiyuk is worth this. It's not the 49ers are overpaying him. Other teams would have paid him the same amount or more for what he brings to the table. And he probably wouldn't fit those offenses as well as he fits the 49ers offense. Like, I cannot stress enough. I said before they traded for Christian McCaffrey, once they made the trade for Christian McCaffrey, I was really excited because I said he fits this offense perfectly as running back. Well, I feel the same way about Aiyuk as wide receiver. He does everything you need in this offense. He gets open. He catches the ball. He presents a wide catch radius to the quarterback. He's a consistent player. And then even, because like blocking for a wide receiver, that's about heart. That's about like, are you putting the team first? You know what I mean? Like that's not, they don't show blocking stats for wide receivers. That's the kind of thing that only hardcore fans like you and me are even going to notice. But he did those things, and this offense is built on 11 players working together for one goal. And when Brandon Aiyuk is on the field, he does that. Now, if you're upset with the way the contract negotiations went, that's fine. But that does not pertain to the player he is on the field. He's an excellent player. He fits this offense perfectly, and he's willing to do things. He's not just out there trying to get his own stats. He's not trying to just build his own fame. He really is doing the gritty work, that the team needs to win. I mean, when he's out there blocking, how many wide receivers might not want to do that? Like you could pull a hamstring doing something like that. Like that's physical contact right there. You're not even touching the ball in those plays. He's putting his body on the line so other players on the team can be successful. And that's one of the reasons I'm really excited. I'm really happy for him. I think he's earned this contract.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think I want to wait until the full guarantees come out. Everybody freaks out about a deal. Oh, it's a good deal, it's a bad deal. The full guarantees will tell the story. And if in Aiyuk, we know for sure is getting at least 47 fully guaranteed. But anything over 45, man, this is what he was waiting out for, and he got it. So there you go. But Eric, I gotta let you go, brother. Appreciate you, man, for always supporting and calling in. We'll talk soon.
All right, thanks for taking my call. Have a good night.
All right, brother. Third string all pro. That's factually incorrect. Adam Schefter put it out there. I can promise you that's incorrect. And somebody in the chat said that his agent already retweeted and refuted that. So factually incorrect. And I get I know. All right. I know. Trust me. I know. It's not right. That is not correct at all. So we can spin this however we want to make this a feel-good story for the team. Bottom line is this: the deal's done, regardless. Technically, if somebody caved, somebody didn't cave, that's not full guarantee. That's just guaranteed. There's guaranteed money and there's fully guaranteed money. Fully guaranteed money usually will come out around 24 hours after the deal's announced. So we'll see what that number is. Anything over 45, he won. It's probably going to be closer to 50, I'm sure. So that's what it is. I mean, that's what he's looking for. So there you go. All right. So we got Dre Barry, and then we're going to go to Brother Bob. What's up, Dre?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I mean, Every day's a good day above ground. My opinion is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I don't give a damn. It just is what it is.
Yeah, do
Uh,
it. Listen, go ahead, man.
Bra- Brandon Ayuk is a good receiver. He's not a great
Mhm.
receiver, right? Now, would you say that Brandon Ayuk is better than Tyreek Hill?
No. Of course not.
Okay. Well, right now with this new contract, he's making more money than Tyreek Hill. Brandon Ayuk is a overpaid good receiver who is more of a product of Kyle Shanahan's offense and the weapons around him. And we have sample sizes of this when Debo was gone for 3 weeks. What happened? Ayuk didn't do shit. Um, they extremely overpaid this guy. Uh, I really lost my love for him as a player on this in this organization when he went on the pivot and said that Jaden Daniels, a quarterback who was ass in college, until he went to Alabama and had an elite squad around him and had one good year, and said, "Oh yeah, Jaden Daniels, he could take my game to the next level." Bro, you totally shitted on everybody in the organization and your quarterback by saying that, bro. And on top of that, there was a report that said that this is the same deal that's been on the shelf for the last 3 weeks. So, bro, you've had this same opportunity to sign the same contract three
He did.
weeks ago when you walked.
Dre. Hold on. I'm with you. I'm gonna let you finish, but I promise
Yeah,
you, that's factually it's incorrect. I will
but that's
promise
what
you that.
But
And
Schefter
and his
reported it. So
and
I
his
mean,
agent and his agent immediately retweeted it and said, "You're not. That is incorrect, and the check still cashed the same. It is not true, and I know for a fact it's not true. You have to understand, Schefter, especially out of everybody, is great at his job, but Schefter is also always there for the team. If you notice the way that he reports things, it's always a spin for the team. That's what he does. He does team favors so that he can get their message out there, and then for that, they in return feed him information." Schefter always is pro team with all of his stuff. I promise you, he has not been sitting on this for 3 weeks. I know that for a fact. I promise you.
well, I'm just, hey, man. I mean, you do this, you probably have sources, but Schefter been doing this for a long time too, bro. So I'm just saying the way he handled this shit, and then to find out, he's doing a documentary behind it, and you walking in practice pounding with a fucking water bottle.
I get that. Listen, I Aiyuk didn't. Oh, where did he go? Damn. What the heck? All right, that was a good call though. I don't expect everybody to agree. I just wanted to make sure that we cleared up. He 100% was not sitting on this for 3 weeks. That I know for a fact. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, if you're not happy with the way that Brandon Aiyuk handled it and you're a little upset, that's fine. Like everybody's entitled to think about this differently. Everybody's entitled to think about this differently. I'm not going to hold anybody back or whatever. I disagree. I think he should get his money. And Tyreek Hill's deal is a couple years old. I know they reworked it, but I think that was just to give more money up front. It was more of the guaranteed money stuff. But his deal's 3 years old. And you have to remember, contracts are not based off of what you've already done. They're about what you're going to do. And this is a 4-year deal. So the question is who's better today between him and Tyreek Hill? Definitely it's Tyreek Hill. That's not debatable. But this is a 4-year deal. So not next year. So Tyreek Hill's what, 30 something. So not after this year. The contract technically doesn't kick in until next year. Okay. So we have 4 years plus this year. I would bet the final 3 years of that contract when Aiyuk is 27, 26, 27. So 28, 29, and 30. And at that point, Tyreek's like 33, 34, 35. First of all, I don't know if he'll be in the league at that point, but I bet you the final 3 years of that deal, when the money's actually being paid, Aiyuk is better than Tyreek. And that's what we have to remember. The deal doesn't even technically kick in until next year. Okay. So right now, if it's a 4-year deal, the deal kicks in next year. The bet is that Aiyuk, the final 3 years of that deal, is better than Tyreek, who may or may not even be in the league because he's an aging receiver who relies on speed. So trust me, Aiyuk is not as good as Tyreek. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it was a good call. But I disagree. I definitely disagree. I don't know what happened. It was a good call, DeAndre. I didn't kick you out. Did you lose connection or whatever? I think you're entitled to the opinion, but I also think that as this contract wears along and other people get paid, and 2 years from now, when he's in year 2 of this deal, bro, it'll be like, look at Debo right now. Debo is getting paid like 23 million annually. He just signed 2 years ago. He's like annual value, probably like what, 12, 13 in the league. Brandon Aiyuk will be there soon. It'll be good. So, all right, bro, it's all good. That was a good call, though. I disagree, but it was a good call, man. All right, I'm gonna go to Brother Bob real quick. What's up, Brother Bob?
What's up, man? Hold on. Let me turn off Grant Dizzle, all right? Because I got to talk to you real quick, my brother.
All right, let's do it.
First of all, don't be coming up in here talking about I guarantee, and the rest of the callers didn't even push back. How can you guarantee? Now, I believe you're right.
Brother Bob, you know there are things that I've slid you that have been factually correct. Don't come on here and try to be the one to push back, because you of all people have been slid information that has been factually correct, and you know that. So
yes, bro.
Don't do that right now.
Slow down,
bro. Don't do that right now.
You didn't let me finish.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, damn, bro, getting all testy. I was gonna say, now I know you're right, and I believe you. That's not okay. Because look here. Why would he sit on that deal for so long? And then his agent, like you said, already said, okay, that's wrong. And we all know the biggest thing was he wanted more guaranteed money. So, like you said, we're gonna wait to see that. And I think there wasn't even a fourth year, but now he's got a fourth year, whether it's that last year is voided or not. But my point is, spill the beans, bro. How do you know? Give us some details. That's all I'm saying.
You listen.
I know you can't tell your sources.
Just know I know. I know. Okay, that's it. But I also told you hours before it dropped that the deal's done. It's a done deal. So you know that I know. That's all that needs to be said. But either way, listen, at the end of the day, it's not about who knows what or whatever. At the end of the day, the deal's done. So now how do we feel about it? Whether trust me, I'm sure we're going to talk a lot on the 4-man front about narratives and who caved and all that stuff. But right now, I want to hear from y'all. Just how do you feel in the moment that it's done?
Bro,
that's what I want to know.
Bro, I'm not going to push you to disclose the details of your sources and what they said. I just got to with you a little bit. You know what I mean? Just like I got to with you a little bit about Graham. All right.
Hey, got picked up by the Commanders.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, bro. So, all right, let's get into it. One last thing. I just still don't get, and I know you saw me and MMK go through it. I never would understand people pocket watching. And the last caller was doing that, like you said, man, I don't think people understand A, how the market works, B, how, like you just said, look at Debo's deal, but more importantly, I like the deal. Like, I've been saying this for a long time. Put Steve-O back up there. Put it back.
No, he said I'm gonna get a Sublux. Trying to tell people that I know. I said I got a Sublux going right now. I got a Sublux.
Yeah. We just got. Wait a minute. We just literally extended BA, so that we could have someone to take over for the Sublux dude. But anyway.
So that's the next question. So now, should we be shocked if he hits IR and is done for the season? That's a whole nother thing.
I think Ronnie Bell is going to be the odd man out. But yeah, man. Anyway, look, I've been saying this from the beginning, and I'm not like some huge BA fan. Okay, full disclosure, I have his jersey, but the thing is, what he brings to this offense right here, right now, is it's paramount to us making a deep
for sure
drive into the Super Bowl, or into the playoffs. Without him, I don't think we do it, because I don't see anyone on this team, this roster, that can take over what he does. His 75 catches last year, being the fourth basically option, is ridiculous. The amount of yards he had, ridiculous, like almost 1,400. And then the fact that everyone wants to focus on touchdowns. Well, this is a run first team. But who get all the touchdowns? CMC. So you factor in the fact that people also forget this. Purdy needs BA. We saw that in the preseason. It's clear Purdy throws on anticipation and he's in sync with BA. Now, if we didn't want to have a true, legit Super Bowl run, and I know you got other callers, so I'll shut the hell up.
No, you're good.
Then,
You're good.
all right, but then we should have just said, all right, beginning of the draft, trade a BA, and probably just
Yeah.
start the whole team over. But we didn't do that. So I'm like, okay, when we re-signed Juice, my brother, I said, okay, we're running it back. So you got to bring all those players back, And so here's what's going to next. I mean, they have to re-sign Trent now because you lost all leverage with Trent when you didn't draft a tackle last year or this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bro. Okay, so now the question is this: does the Trent deal get done?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
It'll get done.
Right?
It has to, right? Yeah. What you mean, right? You already know, bro. That's why you turn it red. This team is shitty without him. Purdy will not last 3 games without Trent. Because all right, brother, I'm gonna say this because I got to get back to work while listening to you guys, and I can't wait to get that hat. But man, can you imagine this O-line? We've got Puny starting at right guard. We already got. I mean, he's just a rookie, so I'm not saying anything bad about him. But he's a rookie. He's gonna make some rookie mistakes. You got next to him McGiveth, who's horrible, and Brent Hell. He's always on his ass. So you're just basically gonna have Banks and Trent. So we need Trent to even run the ball, but also to protect Purdy's blind side. So yeah, man, it has to get done. I think it'll get done probably, if not before Labor Day, right after. He's got to play game 1. Oh, because get this. Can you imagine if the Jets sign Hassan Riddick or extend him so he goes to camp? Can you imagine what he could do to Purdy again?
Hold on. If they get Reddick and we don't have Trent Williams, I don't even want to deal with it. So no, I don't want to imagine. So all right, dude, let me get to these callers, bro.
I'm only laughing because of your face. All right, then, brother. Later, man.
All right, later. Golly. Listen, bro, I don't know what that conversation was like, but you see that time I'm on the East Coast. All right, there's Marco. Yo, let's go. I said, done. Don't premature me. He said, getting the final details done. It's happening, like I told you. I said, okay. He goes, I'm going to tweet it when I get the thumbs up. He said, got the green light. And he tweeted it. So you can believe what you want to believe. I'm just letting you know right now. He wasn't sitting on it for 3 fucking weeks. All right. His agent retweeted it. And I'm going to go with what my guy Marco, who's always right on this stuff, dropped. All right. All right. We're going to go to David, then Terry. Then we're going to close out with Jose. I'm going to bring you. Are you good to go on camera, David? Yeah. What's up, my G?
Hey, man, I shaved.
Dude, yeah, what's up, man? When I saw you were like a full lumberjack.
Dude, I was a surfer, like I said, surfer Jesus. I got my beard trimmer out after the haircut, and I made a mistake, and then I just had to take it all off, and it's gonna grow back. I'm not gonna get a haircut again for another 14 months. My followers don't have to worry. I will be just as embarrassing to follow as ever. But our first post game show, in like, what is it now? 10 days, something like that. Yeah, I'll still be clean shaven, but maybe a little bit more 5 o'clock shadow and some stuff like
that. Nice, bro. Nice, bro. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Dude, good. And like you said, what you had talked about when you were showing your text, it's like, I just want to corroborate that too. Like anybody that was kind of doubting where that was going. Yeah, this idea that this contract was identical, like Adam Schefter is putting out there, where it was the same since August 10th or August 12th or whatever it was like that. That's bogus. And, I think what's really interesting to me, yep, exactly. I exactly. And
Like, what are we
as you
actually
were,
doing here? Twitter has
yeah.
timestamps too.
No, I mean, it's like the thing. It's like, and I get texts that I can't do it because I'm holding my phone. But I was on the phone with Marco too, and just I mean, I've known Marco for a long time. We've been working together for almost 4 years now, and we started together at 49ers Gold Mine. And honestly, from the get go, like I'm 42. I can't remember what Marco's younger than me. I think I'm old enough to be his teen dad. And he has always been a hardworking dude. He's always been a guy that kind of works in the shadows and doesn't look for clout. Most of the stuff he has, like Jesse, you can corroborate this. He doesn't put on the TL. He doesn't go out there. He has so much stuff he could do. He doesn't do that. And I think that, so props to Marco. For those of you who don't know, like I said, I've been saying this for a long time. You got to start, please start following him. He's going places. We all know that. I think the big thing is with this contract is, and we've been saying this, we've been saying this for months. This idea that Brandon Aiyuk didn't have leverage is something I've been screaming from the mountaintops is so false. He leveraged the shit out of the 49ers. He played the long game. He ended up getting more than in April. He did not want this number. They could have got this deal done earlier and it would have been cheaper. Right.
A lot
did a lot, but Brandon Aiyuk played the long game. He knew he had leverage. Why? The 49ers want to win the Super Bowl. They know. Somebody who put it out today, Brandon Aiyuk has the second most EPA added against press coverage. I think it might have been you, Jesse. I think you might have retweeted this. I see that.
I retweet a lot of things. I don't know if I did
but
or
I was
not.
looking at this, and I'm not. You don't follow EPA, but EPA is like, oh, it's a team stat. Well, within this team of EPA, of all the receivers in the NFL of the past 5 years, the top 5 are Justin Jefferson. Okay. I think it even goes back to 7 years. Justin Jefferson's number 1. Brandon Aiyuk is number 2. Julio Jones is number 3. Okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown is number 4. Right. So this, I'm telling you, man, like the Niners knew they needed him. Aiyuk knew they needed him. And Ryan Williams, his agent, who's close with John Lynch, right? And I saw some nonsensical bullshit that came out today. It's like, oh, this agent's I think Evan or report like, oh yeah, it's been reported this agent's getting tired of his shit. And I'm like, that is not true. His agent is just like they're in lockstep together, him and Aiyuk. And to have I love with Ryan Williams, he goes out there and Schefter is like doing the business for the 49ers saying, oh, this has been, they actually Aiyuk was sweating, and he's like, no, that's not true. The fully guaranteed money was getting ironed out. There are little things in the contract was the minutia. It got done on Aiyuk's terms, and he's there. And so kudos to the Niners for actually doing their job and getting this guy in, but it could have been done cheaper a long time ago. Brock Purdy's first full healthy offseason as the starter. The Niners played games. They still paid. They still caved. Exactly what we said they were going to do. And here we are. So it's water under the bridge. We can get Trent in, right? But I'm just so happy for players. I'm a pro labor guy. I'm a pro player guy. I love when players know what they're worth, put their foot down and tell their employers, I'm calling your bluff. And it's exactly what he did.
Yeah. And, I see people in the chat saying like, he better produce more than he did last year. Like Bosa didn't produce near what he did the year before. This is where now we can start to talk a little bit now that the floodgates have been open in the chat. And I appreciate you guys bringing it up, which is, guys, the 49ers sat on this. The reason we're here is because of the 49ers and deal after deal after deal and after deal getting done. And so if he doesn't produce, it's because like Bosa didn't produce and like Debo didn't produce the same. When you don't have a training camp, the expectation is you're probably not going to produce the same. Now, maybe Aiyuk will. I think Ayuk's a really good player, and maybe he will produce the same. But if he doesn't, it's like, well, we kind of saw this coming from a mile away. There was no reason for him to not be there all offseason. It could have been done a long time ago.
He's going to produce, but people box score scout so much. I don't even know if I have the energy. It's not actually that. I mean, I don't have any notes in front of me. We know what Brandon Aiyuk does. I think last year, somebody was talking about his volume. Like Christian McCaffrey, you guys got to remember, he gets almost 100 targets a year in this offense, right? He had 339 touches last year. There's very few people that do that. And usually in those offenses, even with a guy like CeeDee Lamb, well, CeeDee Lamb, I think, has averaged about 29 more targets or something like that than Brandon Aiyuk, but he also doesn't have a running back. I mean, Pollard gets touches, don't get me wrong, in the past, but that he wasn't that, and he didn't have a receiver opposite him like Debo, didn't have a tight end like Kittle eating up usage. It's comical to kind of only look at targets and receptions. But then when we look at the EPA added, we look at the average depth of target, we look at the efficiency with what he pushes the ball down the field. And the fact that Aiyuk, by the way, when Debo's not on the team next year or the year after, and Aiyuk starts to do a little bit more near the line of scrimmage, people are going to realize that the reason he was always outside is because Debo can't do what Aiyuk does outside. And Debo is a beast with the ball in his hands, but he's not an X. Aiyuk is. And Kyle knows he cannot waste Aiyuk's talents near the line of scrimmage when he does what he does in press. And so that stat that got retweeted out today was just corroboration and validation of that. And I'm geeked. I think they got time. It took a long time. I wish they get it more expeditiously in the future, but I think we all have a little bit more pep in our step, and I think Trent Williams is the next domino to fall.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one, David. Can't wait till we do the post games together coming up in just over a week, man. Get ready for it. We'll see you soon, bud.
Peace, bro.
Later. There we go. David, my post game partner. We'll get to Terry and then Jose, and that's how we'll round it out. Shane, sorry about the super chats, y'all. I sat on these for a while. That's definitely my fault. Shane says the Niners could have handled this negotiation better, right? Dio calling it a masterclass from the Niners. I think that's a reach. Listen, man, I'm just happy it's done. People can think what they want. They can have the opinion, whatever. That's fine. I fully disagree. I mean, I don't know how even let's say the 49ers got everything they wanted in the deal. Everything they wanted in the deal. And Brandon Aiyuk just totally was like, God, I can't take it anymore, guys. I'll sign the deal. You've got me at gunpoint. Even if that was true, how can it be a masterclass when we're a week out from the season and this man hasn't been on the field? How is that a masterclass? I mean, that it's so obvious that it's not. Even, like I said, even if the 49ers got everything they wanted and Aiyuk got nothing he wanted, which, by the way the contract is written, that is clearly not true, but let's just assume that. The fact they didn't have the player until just now, that is not a masterclass. That's not a masterclass. So, I don't know. Whatever, man. Eric says, do me a favor and let Brother Bob know that I breathe through my nose, so I don't need to stop talking. It's called multitasking. CB Niner, member for 19 months, appreciate you, says, I just signed my new deal. Time to pay up. Appreciate you, CB Niner. I appreciate you. All right, let's get to Terry and then Jose. What's up, Terry?
What's up, my guy? How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you?
I don't know. I was hyped, and then the emotions kind of went down, and now I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm in like a weird anxious stage now where I'm like really thinking about next year, but I also know that it's like a Super Bowl or bust year. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, you know. And I was thinking about like just how this affects next year. Because I mean, let's be real here. Though it may be a Super Bowl or bust year in our eyes, it may not be like that in John and Kyle's eyes. It may just be, hey, we have a 24-year-old quarterback. We have the next 5 years to win a chip. And what I was thinking was like, look, if they sign BA and Trent Williams, which is probably what's going to happen, like, what if next year they can't, extend BP and they have to look at other options? Like, because they have I don't know if you know this, but they have an out in 2025 for Hargrave's contract. And I think that if he has a similar season where he has 7 sacks or 6 sacks or 8 sacks, you can execute on that and just get out of that contract. Just because I don't really think you need to have 2 massive contracts on the D-line, especially when they didn't even do much damage last year. I mean, let's be real here. They weren't even that good last year. So, yeah.
Yeah, bro. I get it. I think the way that I see it is that, Purdy is 24.
Yeah.
And you're right. The 49ers, they're all in, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure they're all in, but they are not looking at it like, oh my God, our window's completely closed after this. But the way that you keep a window open, and this is what I've been trying to tell people, the reason that Aiyuk sticks around is because at this point, yes, he may be option number 3, but Debo's almost 30. Kittle's past 30. You know,
Yep.
DMC's 28. When this contract is 2 years in, Debo will be the guy. And if you don't keep Debo and all those other guys are gone, then what? Out of this team that you've been making this run with year after year after year, who
Can't keep everybody, right?
right? Well, yeah, but they age. They're aging out. It's not even a money thing.
Yeah.
They're just aging out. And so if you don't say yes to Aiyuk, then out of this group now you've kept nobody. That would be weird. And so you're paying Aiyuk knowing that he's going to be your number 1 option 2 years from now and will be for a 3-year time span. And Brock Purdy and him can build that rapport and grow together. So that's the way that I see it.
I mean, that's a really good analysis in my opinion. I never really thought of it like that, honestly. I mean, I was just looking at the contract situations and I was just looking at, you know, the implications of if they were to sign both those players. Because in my mind, you know, I don't think that they keep Debo next year because they were trying to trade him this year. They were trying to trade him during the draft.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure if they were trying to do that last year. So don't quote me on that. But I'm like, look, if this year he misses 4 games and if BA has another 1,300, 1,400 yard a year, you know, and a guy like Ricky Pearsall or Jacob Calloway is just like, even if they're remotely decent, you know, what if they look into getting rid of him? Because I mean, look, Debo's amazing and he's probably my favorite player, but I mean, he's probably not even like top 5 in terms of value to the team. I mean, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Brock, like he's like, you know, there's not even top 5.
Yeah.
And
like,
and
you're right. But the Aiyuk thing, listen, we got to remember that this is the last year of his deal. So even though he's signed, his deal doesn't even kick in until next year. So what does that look like next year? What does that look like in year 2, year 3? You know what I mean? So that's we just have to forward think like that.
Right. All right. Well, appreciate your analysis, my man.
All right, bro. Hey, thanks for calling in, man. Call in anytime. I really appreciate your support. All right, bro. That was a good call. That was a really good call. And what? You're the second person to say this, bro. Where is that at? Like, even this week, I was just on with Grant last night and he's like, so does he stay? I'm like, I know that it's like hard to like, it sounds crazy that I'm on this side. Like, it's hard to like even justify my opinion at this point. But I said, I've been here all off season saying I think he's going to stay and he's going to get a new deal. I go, I can't jump off the train now because everything looks bad. I go, yeah, I think he'll get a new deal and he'll be here. I said that just last night. Like, are you mixing up your content creators, JM? I almost feel hurt because I feel like you and I, like, you've been in the chat for a long time and you've always been a supporter. And now I feel like you're mixing me up, man. What, like, should I be worried? What's up? should I be worried? Oh, sure you are, JM. Jeez, man. Now, listen, I did think Debo was gone. So technically you're half right. All right, I'm gonna get to Jose real quick. And Jose is a Seahawks fan. Jose has his own channel. Jose called in last week and we've been talking a little bit behind the scenes. I think at some point I'll end up on his channel. But go check him out, man. He's really, really nice guy. And he's doing his thing. What's up, Jose?
Thank you for the plug. Jesse just wanted to come up and say I'm a Seahawks fan, but I'm a football fan, a football fan. All I can say is thank God this PA drama is over.
It's over, dude. It's over. And Jose, it's over. And now the Seahawks are on the clock, right? Because you guys, you had this glimmer of hope. Like, listen, if Brandon's not there, if Trent's not there, we can get these Niners. So now we got one. We're waiting on the other.
Yeah. I said that with the Brandon from the Hawks Nest on Monday. Make sure you go check that out when you check out my channel.
Well, listen, I don't know if you went and checked your comments, but I went and watched one of your videos. I commented,
Yes.
I subscribed, I did the whole thing. So appreciate you, brother.
Yes, I appreciated that as well. Thank you, brother. Hey, I'm glad I pushed back my fantasy draft to December.
See, okay. Word to the wise. I ran a league for like 10 years. I always run my fantasy draft the Monday, the week that the season starts. So I forget the holiday. What is it? Memorial Day or whatever? Or Labor Day. I always do the draft Labor Day night. I try to give as much time as possible for everything to work itself out because you never know what can happen. So 3 days before we got our draft, sounds like you got yours on Sunday. Yeah. That's what I always try to do. So unless it's a best ball league, then it's like, who cares? Because it's just most points gets inserted in the lineup. But regular fantasy drafts, always push back until Labor Day weekend if you can, because anything can happen.
I know. I've learned that the hard way. The last season, within the first three weeks, I lost my starting quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and my starting running back, Nick Chubb.
Oh, you had Chubb and Rodgers. Oh, no, man. That was a rough season for you, huh?
So I was dead in the water after week 3. I will also be posting fantasy content on my channel, so look out for that.
There we go. Hey, what's the name of the channel again so these guys can check it out?
Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. I do have a disability, so sometimes the way things come out of my mouth aren't exactly correct. So just a heads up there. And also I do have a petty sense of humor. So just a fair warning.
He's got a petty sense of humor, and he says he's got a disability, but he's got a petty sense of humor. So it'll make it worth it. Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. Jose, thank you so much for calling in again. I definitely will come on your show at some point throughout this season. We should probably wait until the 49ers and Seahawks are going to play, yeah. I think is the right thing to do. Yeah. And we'll make it happen, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon.
Stay tuned.
All right, later, bud. Jose, man, he's coming through. Go check him out. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you. All right, we got Dazza coming through. He says, TJ Hushmanzada, BA's training partner, said around 2 months ago that BA wanted the Amon-Ra St. Brown deal. And that's basically what he got. Don't know why it took so long. It's a masterclass, man, as third string all-pro says. Here, like I said, I'll live in the world that you're right, and they've been sitting on it for 3 weeks, and nothing changed, even though I know that's not true. But we'll live in that world for a second, okay? Even if that's the case, if they offered him this 3 weeks ago, you were still basically more than halfway through training camp, right? We were getting towards the middle part of training camp. It took you that long to offer. Your player had already missed the first half of training camp. And then he didn't accept. And so here we are 10 days before the season, and he's finally getting on the field. How is it a masterclass when your player misses all of training camp? It's just not. Brother Bob says, Eric, love you, bro. I already know. I'm dead. All right. Guys going back and forth. And then Shiza P says, never worried about Aiyuk. I was more worried about Trent. We signed so many offensive line this offseason. For what reason? What's your take? We did, but we don't have a lot of tackles. Right now we have 2 tackles on the team, I think. 2, maybe 3. Trent's got to be here. They got to make that happen. I'm sure they're going to go full court press, but I also haven't heard anything about Trent. So I don't know for sure what's going on. That being said, 2 minutes. Ryan Hensley's channel, me, Grant, Coach Ryan, 4-man front. Go to Ryan Hensley's channel now. We'll be live there in just a minute. Marcus says Aiyuk is worth $15 million for practice purposes alone. None of the Niners DBs have had a single rep against a true NFL X receiver yet. That's why Womack got cooked. Yes, absolutely. That's a very, very good point. All right. Go over to Ryan's channel. We'll see you soon. Peace.